Should you purchase a solution with two cameras like the Govee TV Backlight T2, or should you go to something more minimalist like the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite? What is the difference besides the price? This one is cheaper. Which one you should purchase? If you want to know everything about it, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love tech and if you love discounts, this is the place for you because everything that I bring to you guys have links on the description below. And today is not an exception. We are going to cover once again backlight TVs, and you know is one of my favorite products that I bring to you guys. And today we are going to compare my old Govee TV Backlight T2 against the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite, that is their new generation. What is the difference between these two? And when we talk about installation, no matter which ones you choose, the experience is exactly the same. So you have a strip light on the top, two on the sides and one on the bottom. Very easy to set it up. But when we talk about those strip lights, that is a massive difference between these two, and it's really relevant. So when you go to the Govee TV Backlight T2, you have here a RGBIC, and here you have a RGBIC-W, basically the same that you get on the Nanoleaf 4D. So what that means, RGBIC, that is what you get on the Govee TV Backlight T2. RGBIC is nothing more than an RGB with a controller. So in other words, you can control each section of your RGB. But the big disadvantage compared to a Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite or the Nanoleaf 4D is that these two are like basically a RGBIC-W. So basically is an RGBIC mixed with a RGB-W. What that means? Here you have the RGBIC, so you have a controller that controls the changes, and you can have different sections that will give you a different color. But when you are with the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite, you are going to be able to also control better the whites, because you have some LEDs, they are just controlling the whites. So in other words, when you are using a Govee TV Backlight T2, if you are seeing a section that is really white, it's going to be like more a bluish finish, if it makes sense, or a purplish. And here is going to be much more realistic, and it's going to be much closer to a white color. So definitely a massive pro that you have here. When we talk about LEDs, here you have 60 LEDs per meter, and here you have 30 LEDs per meter. Is it better to have more or less? And I have to say to you guys that once again, and if you have a Govee TV Backlight T2, you know that is not really accurate. It's always been very difficult. And if you don't have purchased this one, and if you don't have seen the video that I've done, it's impossible to have the best results with your camera on the top. You have to put the Govee TV Backlight T2 on the bottom. It's really essential. Otherwise, the bottom part of your TV is not going to work really well, because the fish eye effect with these two cameras is not really well calibrated, in my opinion. When you come here, you're going to have just 30 LEDs per meter, but it's so much better, so much more accurate. And before there, it was really impossible to really get a green color, and we'll talk about that also in a minute. When we talk about the controller, no matter which one you choose, if you choose the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite or the Govee TV Backlight T2, the controller is exactly the same. I would like to have seen an improvement on the controller, the shape of it, like we have, for example, with the Nanoleaf 4D, where you have the on and off on the front and the rest of the buttons on the back. So definitely something that I would like to see different, but unfortunately is still not possible with the Govee TV Backlight T3. When we talk about calibrating, you know, if you follow me already for a while, you know that calibrating the Govee TV Backlight T2 is not easy whatsoever. And a lot of you guys have seen my video how to calibrate, because at the minute that we are recording this video, we are basically in 60,000 views on that video. So thank you so much to be following my work and obviously supporting the channel. When you go to the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite, man, it's not even comparable. To be completely honest with you guys, since I put it on the top, like I said, with the Govee TV Backlight T2, is impossible to have it there and have the best results. So I tried to have it on the top, and suddenly I decided, you know what, I'm not going to calibrate and see what is the final result. And I have to say to you guys that even if I calibrated or not, the results that I was having with the Govee TV Backlight T3 was the best. And it was literally just connecting everything, turn on my phone, he appeared there, he said to me to basically press a button on the controller, and he was set it up. And obviously I didn't done straight away the calibration, but like I said, even if I do the calibration on this one, the results was exactly the same. Obviously, you still have to follow my settings to have the best results, because if you are just going to bring all the brightness up and all the saturation, you're going to continue to have some of the same issues, but we'll go there in a second. One of the big reasons that made me basically remove my Govee TV Backlight T2 to replace with a Nanoleaf 4D is because the Govee TV Backlight T2 will not allow you to have a full dark experience. So in other words, if it's like completely dark, you are always going to have some light on the back. So that was something that I didn't like it, because if you go to something like the Philips Hue or the Lytmi Fantasy 3 that I have review on the channel, I was having that type of experience. But at that time, I had to decide, should I stay with the Lytmi Fantasy 3 or should I stay with the Govee TV Backlight T3? And as you know, I really don't like the solution with sync box, because the signal always have to pass with HDMI. And that is a disadvantage, because if you want to use your phone to transmit something on the TV, it is not going to work. And in this case, you don't have any issues, it's going to always work no matter what. I was losing that immersive experience, and that's why I moved to the Nanoleaf 4D. But when you jump to the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite, it's really good. And when we talk about the chip, they have also improved the chip inside this one. I'm going to be honest with you guys straight away, is the fastest I tried. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about dynamic range, because I still think that Govee need to really improve their app and all the options that we have to control their lights. This was, in my opinion, a straight attack to the Nanoleaf 4D that in my opinion was until today far the best backlight TV. And if you want me to do the comparison between the two, feel free, like I said, to leave on the comments below asking for that comparison, because it's not going to be easy even for me to choose between these two. This one, it's incredible how fast it responds. Is the closest experience that I had to a sync box. It is literally almost like a sync box. Like I said before, and if you want the full comparison, I'll do it, with the Nanoleaf 4D, there is still a bit of a delay. But here, I don't know what they've done, but it's very responsive. But the dynamic range really needs to improve, if it makes sense. You will still have here the dream view like you have with the Govee TV Backlight T2, so no problem, you can connect to other devices. I really like the fact that now it's just one camera, because it's less intrusive. So if you look to the Govee TV Backlight T2, it is much bigger than the Govee TV Backlight T3 Lite. With this, you're going to get much better results. That is a big elephant in the room when we talk about Govee and my obsession with matching what is happening on the screen, and that's reds. And when we talk about calibrating this, and if you want me to give my settings for this one, also leave in the comments below, because I'll be able to do another video specifically for this product. It's slightly different, the calibration that I've done to the Govee TV Backlight T2, but it's still very similar. If you want that, feel free to ask on the comments. But we continue to have the issue that these LEDs, even if they change from a RGBIC to a RGBICW, that now you know the difference, they continue to be very reddish. And the thing that I really don't like is, for example, if you are seeing a TV show that have a lot of teenagers, so you see a lot of faces, so a lot of skin tones, the surrounding becomes really red, even if you normally do the same settings that I had it here. They continue to have that issue because the limitations that you have for setting it up, it's not the best. When we talk about brightness, to have the best results, you continue to have to bring the brightness down. So that's a big bummer, no matter which product you try to decide to purchase for yourself. But I'll say that I think that the Govee TV Backlight T2 is still brighter than this one, because obviously here you have 60 LEDs per meter, and here you only have 30 LEDs per meter. And another thing that is a massive difference between these two products is the possibility to connect this to Matter. it will come in the future an update that you'll be able to connect, for example, this one to Apple HomeKit, something that is a massive bonus for me since I have an iPhone and all my products are from Apple. My computer is from Apple, my iPad is from Apple, so definitely a massive, massive plus. And another thing that we have obviously with Govee is the amount of products that you have on the market that you'll be able to connect to this one and use Dream View. Is it the experience to synchronize with other products? Is it the best? Not really, but it's already quite interesting what you have with Dream View. If I have to invest my money thinking that that one is more expensive, doesn't have matter, it's just RGBIC and not RGBICW. I have much better whites with this, is much faster, and yes, is another thing. Here you could never get greens and yellows. It was really tough to get good blues and purples. You couldn't really get with this one yellows and greens. Here, passing from a blue to a green, it's insanely good. I never had such a good experience passing from blue to greens, and even many times with other solutions on the market, when you had to pass from a blue to a green, it almost didn't do any changes whatsoever. So when we talk about colors, is much more dynamic than any solution that I tried until today. So really impressed with this one. The price is insanely good, and if you look to the links on the description below, you can get the better deals on this one. Another thing that is really important to talk about this one is if you have a small TV. So for example, a TV with 43 inches, do I recommend to purchase this one? And I have to say, no, it's definitely not the best solution for you. If you are searching for a small TV, I continue to recommend you to go to something like the Nanoleaf 4D, because you can set it up the corners, and in that way you will know how much LEDs you are using in that specific moment. This one is definitely something that you should look if you are looking to a backlight TV. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face, and I hope to see you in the next one.